Did you see that screenshot I sent in my message with Corey Lay?
Yeah, he called you out on it.
Did you not see my response?
I'm high, bro. I'm high all the time.
Stay in your fucking lane. Last warning.
Bro, you have full permission to talk about Challenge Season 40 with and I'll talk. Let's just switch it up. You talk about that this episode. I'll talk about Corey Lay.
Got it.
Yeah.
I love how you told Josh's Corey Lay story to Marlon last night. Like you didn't even let him tell his own fucking story.
No, because we talked. I was like, I really didn't want to bring it up because it's on every single podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we got to go one without it. I'm like, sorry, Corey, you know, I'm a huge fan, but I can't talk about you every single podcast.
Yeah, he's a staple now, man. He's like one of our fucking questions now. We ask questions and we talk about Corey Lay.
When you talk about rookies, how do you feel about Corey Lay?
Right.
That's the question from now on.
So,
oh my God.
All right, we're going to talk about rookies and not all of them, just one in particular, Corey Lay.
Corey Lay. Yeah. We like him.
What's your feelings on him? And
you better like him too, or we're going to have some shit to say.
Yeah.
Right. No. So I still think it's funny that one person thought that they were responding to Corey Wharton on Twitter. And
I didn't even understand that. What happened? I did not understand that whole thread.
Right. So I'll have to go back and screenshot it. But he posted, people who don't like me are stupid. I'm great. And then Mr. Posh, whatever, say, GTFO, you are a nobody. Your only talent is to get a girl pregnant and then act like you are a family man. And then I posted the GIF, hey, you're talking to my guy all wrong. It's the wrong tone.
Well, and I bet Corey's sitting there like, I'm pretty sure I didn't get a girl pregnant.
And then Tony
about that
news to everybody there. Fuck.
Hey, hi.
What's up?
How you doing?
Hear me? Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah, great.
Awesome. Well, Emanuel, thank you so much for joining us. Dude, we've been looking forward to this conversation for a long time. So thank you so much for hopping on. We really do appreciate you giving us some time.
Yeah,
thanks for having me. You guys look great.
How do you?
So, dude, I gotta start off with this. I was just listening to the Tori and Anissa podcast with TJ on it. Did you listen to that one?
I listened to a little bit. I didn't finish it.
Dude, TJ talks you up, man. He's like, dude, he's the coolest dude I've ever met. He just has this swag about him. And I was like, dude, that is the most accurate statement because like when you look at Emanuel, like as fans, like you just carry yourself differently on the show. And it's a cool vibe to have on there, dude. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah. It's been awesome watching you this season. It's a constant opinion through the fan base that, you know, people want you back. So
I think the biggest thing is like there's so many people on the challenge. So we don't really get time as fans to like get to know Emanuel, you know, your story. My name's Rick. This is my wife, Corrina, by the way. And this is Josh. We all like. So we kind of the backstory on us is we run a bunch of different Facebook groups and we've got probably like combined like 20,000 members. And we threw around the idea and we're like, let's start a podcast and like, let's answer some of the questions that like we see in the groups. And like, you guys have been like yourself, Tori, Anissa, we've had a couple different people on. You guys have been so open and willing to, you know, come on. And we really want to thank you guys. Like, you know, it means the world to us. And we know it means the world to our listeners too.
Well, I feel like we should thank you guys because through you, people can hear us, you know.
Oh, man, we so appreciate that, dude.
People won't know anything about me unless I talk to some of you, you know.
Well, and dude, you're such a compelling like person on the show. Like, it naturally want to know more about you. You know what I mean? And like, so we've like followed you on IG and like some of the lives you do, man. Like, you're hilarious, and it just adds more to it, bro. So like, it's like, oh yeah, dude, I want to root for Emanuel because like I like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and had an amazing season, which we'll get to. But yeah.
Yeah, I like all of your videos on Instagram except for the ones where you're working out because it makes me tired.
Yeah, you know what? Since I gained a lot more followers now, I'm more cautious on what I'm posting because before I used to post a lot of shit, a lot of controversial shit, but now I'm like, sometimes I'm posting something and then I delete it, and I'm like, gotta be careful now.
Yeah,
there's a lot of pressure behind it. Yeah, but dude, like, I want to say, like, dude, Emmy's new video, like, I saw that photo of you in it. I was like, oh man, like, I almost wanted to grab that and use that for the promo picture for this podcast. I was like, dude, that's so sick.
It's such a good photo. I love it. That video was awesome. That video was awesome.
Yeah, it was so hard. We were so cold. So
how long did it take you to make that video?
Maybe 5 hours.
Oh, dang.
Oh, wow.
Wow, man. That's where the endurance comes from. You know, you got to be on point for 5 hours.
But I had a really, really rough party the night before. I didn't sleep. And then I found that mask and I was like, I'm not taking that mask off. I'm just going to give it like that.
Well, it worked out.
So actually, dude, that leads me into my next question, which was, we know you're from Romania. Like, we know some of the stories that you told on the show, but like, one thing I wanted to know is like, how'd you get into dancing?
Oh, well, that's a long time ago. It's like maybe 12 years ago. In my village, I was with my cousin just walking by our. It's like a big, where they do parties and like a cultural house. Like that.
Yeah.
It was a guy from the city. He was coming into our village and teaching some modern dance. And then me and my cousin, we were just walking by and we were like, oh, look at these girls, man. We need to go and see what's going on there. And so we joined. We didn't want to pay. We were like, okay, we got to stay for a month. We're not going to pay it. Let's just have fun. And then I started liking it. And then everyone was just like complimenting me. And they were like, you're so good. And then I loved that to get that from people. And then I just carried on. And then I was actually, for my first month, because I had to pay, my grandmother helped me sell some flowers. She had flowers in her garden. So we put a poster on our gate saying we sell flowers. And this is how I paid my first dancing lessons. So yeah, it was a long time ago.
That is awesome. So you just kind of like almost fell into it and have like this innate ability to be really good at it, like without even knowing. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a sport guy. So before that, I was doing judo. I was playing football. I was into like moving my body.
So just naturally athletic already. And it just kind of it found another route for it, dude. That's awesome.
So coming from a sports background and all of your dancing and stuff, how did you end up on reality TV?
I kind of always wanted to be on TV, to be honest. I just didn't know how, but I kept dancing just for fun. And then I started doing like events, like parties, like weddings, dancing like that for events like that. And then eventually I moved to Bucharest, where the industry is, and I get to dance with singers, to do TV shows. And then I was like, I can do more than that. And then I started working in Cyprus as an entertainer, where I had the whole spotlight. So then I was like, okay, I love this. So then I came back to Romania and I was like trying to get into reality TV and like everything on the screen, and it worked. I'm still building it. It's not long since I started doing this. And
I was going to say, we just found out that like you were on like the very first season of Survivor in Romania. Is that right?
Yeah. But that was last year.
last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you go back if they asked you?
100%. I need to win it. I came on the second place. I need to go back and win this shit.
Right. Did you know Emmy before Survivor, or is that where you guys met?
We kind of knew each other because of the industry. We never really talked, but then we met on Survivor, where she was on the other, on the opposite tribe, and we kind of get along somehow. And then from there, we started going, like doing some vlogs here back in Romania, and then we both got the call.
Oh, so like your guys' relationship, like what we're seeing on the challenges, where it's really kind of blossomed. Is that like a good way of putting it? Like it's really grown since being on there?
Not really. That was before the challenge.
So it was like after Survivor?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because like you guys are a really interesting dynamic. Like, you know what I mean? It's almost like a yin and a yang.
Yeah.
You know, like you guys fit each other so well. Like it's a great alliance. And one thing that I know that I've kind of wondered is, do you think like you guys being on being on Survivor previous to the challenge, like gave you certain skill sets that work better in the show? Definitely.
Yeah. I'm not sure about her, because she never knows what she's doing. and that's what gets her where she at.
It's organized chaos.
Yeah. But it definitely helped, especially in my point of view, especially with the strategies and reading people. It helped me a lot. And then I had 5 months in the jungle with other people. 2 months, almost 3 months on the challenge is nothing.
That's what we were going to say is like, because we have quite a few Survivor fans that are in our groups, and they're telling us like in Romania, it's no joke. It's like, you know, almost 6 months they're out there.
Yeah.
Where
and production treats you like you're a prisoner. Like even if you're like travel from your camp with a boat to the games, and you see a piece of bread on the floor, even if you look at it, production is like, take you out of it. I'm like, wow. I wanted to take that piece of bread on the floor.
Like, I'm starving. Just let me have it.
So talking about going from Survivor into a game like the challenge, was it difficult to make that transition going from something where your fate is kind of controlled by viewers versus your fate being controlled by other competitors in the game that you're competing against?
Great question. I did find myself in the house on the challenge, doing sneaky strategies without camera, because on my Survivor, if you would do something sneaky, people at home would be like, this motherfucker, and they wouldn't vote for you.
Oh yeah.
And then, I mean, I didn't do it intentionally, but I had this to like just be sneaky about everything I do, but just that.
kind of working, you know, flying under the radar and staying, you know, off of people's. I
but
like
definitely without having to care about the audience, because you can talk shit on your interviews. You can do whatever you want.
Right.
You can be yourself even more.
Yeah. And as long as you can compete, you know, then it, you know, because you can earn yourself safety and you don't have to rely on other people. So no, I like that.
So now that you've done the challenge, are you hooked? Is it in your blood? Do you have to come back? Do you have to win? Do you have to get to that final?
I have my suitcase ready to go. I'm training to take the biggest guy into a hole, bro. I'm ready to do it. It's in my blood. Definitely. Yes.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, when you and Emmy came into the house, like obviously you guys knew each other. So you already had like kind of an alliance set up, like you're going to look out for each other. But one thing we noticed is like none of the rookies really banded together in the beginning. Did you guys notice that and like immediately think like, all right, we've got to set up alliances with the vets, or were you guys kind of looking at both options?
It was stupid to think that you can have an alliance with the rookies. It was out of my mind. I didn't even consider that. Having an alliance. I only considered having an alliance with Casey and her alliance. That was my plan. Never with rookies. It would never work, even if we would try. At least one is gonna go around the vest just to save his ass, being like, hey, like Emmy. Amy was supposed to go into elimination, but she found the list in the first episode, and then she was like, "Okay, I gotta do it." So it would never work, the Vets Alliance. And also, I came with Amy in the game, but we talked to not look like we're so tight. Like she would talk to people, be like, "I don't know why Emanuel is not talking to me," and this was like a strategy, so people, you know. Yeah.
So they wouldn't know you guys were so close.
That's smart though. That's really smart to like play that off. So that way, like you said, when you guys are off camera and no one's around, you guys can have that little strategy session. But outside of that, you know what I mean? That's smart. Did you go back and like watch previous seasons before you went on, or have you always been a fan?
I was watching on YouTube. I didn't really know what was the challenge. I just watched some eliminations before because I knew Turabi Turbo. And when I got the call, this is where I did my homework. I studied the players. Well, I watched the Double Agent. It helped me a lot.
Yeah.
And then I came in the game with my half of my strategy made, and it happened. I was the first to pick my partner. Then I was with Fessy, with everyone. I was safe.
Yeah, no, that's smart because like even just watching last season gives you enough information on like what the alliances are going to be this upcoming season. Like you can get away without watching the last 5 just by getting a quick update. That's actually really smart. Just out of curiosity, if you wouldn't have gotten to Casey, let's say someone beat you to Casey, just hypothetically, who would have your second choice been?
Anissa and then Tori. I had Anissa and Tori on my list.
Nice.
That's
awesome. A strong list.
I didn't pick Tori because everyone was picking her. Everyone was picking her. So
well, yeah, she's got those YouTube videos where she takes out Jenny and, you know, some of those eliminations. So I can imagine that. But like, I think going in there picking Casey was a really smart choice because we've had this conversation because we recap different episodes and we were talking about like, I think you making that choice, like you said, it set you up with the Big Brother Alliance, but it really set you up for success in the long run of the show and got you to the point where you were without, you know, being a target at all.
Yeah. I mean, people were targeting me, but because Casey, I was talking to Casey since the beginning. I told her, I'm going to tell you everything. You're going to know everything I do. So because I gained her trust, she had my back. Facey wanted to put me in. Who else? There's been in the beginning people that wanted to throw me in because I was the first one to pick my partner. Then they was watching me training and they were like, okay, this guy gotta go. But I was really tight. I knew I had to be tight with someone like that.
And then on top of that, with Emmy getting in with CT and Devin, which is like the opposite side of the house.
Yeah, that was it. She was my agent 007.
yeah. Like so, like unknowingly, like you guys were able to like set up alliances throughout the main, you know, the main portion of the house. It played out so well, and it's really not surprising to see that you guys made it. You know, you made it seriously 30 seconds from making the final, you know what I mean? So
oh my gosh. Oh, that's devastating.
And we're going to get into that because like, I've got a ton of different questions about that as well, as long as you have time for it, of course.
I'm curious, you've done Survivor, obviously you've done the challenge. Do you watch any other reality shows like Big Brother or Amazing Race? Would you consider doing any of those other types of reality shows?
I don't watch, but yes, I consider doing anything that involves being in front of a camera.
Right.
This is what I want to do now. I want to be everywhere right now. This is my time to explore. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. And honestly, I think you'd do really good at Big Brother. And I think that you would be awesome on Amazing Race. Like that was my first thought. I was like, this guy would be so fun to watch on Amazing Race. Kind of jumping back here. We kind of have seen your friendship with Tori develop a little bit on the show. So how's that going? Are you guys still kind of talking, or how's that going for you guys?
Yeah, we're still talking. We're really good friends. We're connected, and it's beautiful.
Any vacations planned to come see her?
I got a ring ready. I'm kidding. That's a big problem. The fact that we live in different parts of this world, and that's the biggest problem. So we're just gonna take it as it is. We're just gonna meet,
Yeah, but I think you know what, you're on the right track. Is like you know what your career path is, and you're working on that, and that's inevitably because we heard the conversations, inevitably going to lead to the U.S. And
Right.
and you and Emmy, the path that you guys are on and the success that you guys are seeing, I think it's only a matter of time, in my personal opinion.
Thank you. I feel that too. I thought about that too, that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean my energy, our energy is that direction, so it has to move that way.
It has to. Yeah, absolutely. One question I did want to ask, I know Corrina already brought up Tori, but outside of Tori, what was your next friendship that you made, new friendship that you made that in the house?
Logan is my really good friend. Also Josh and Fessy, Casey, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm cool with them. Well, I'm cool with pretty much everyone now. Nelson, yeah. But yeah, I think Logan I'm tight the most with Logan.
I heard Logan's a really interesting guy that he was one of the guys that always was trying to play chess in the house and
yeah,
a little bit.
The chess master.
It was chess and pool. He was playing all the time.
You got to keep your mind occupied. I get that. So, bringing up Nelson with that last elimination where you picked Devin, if you would have known it was a puzzle, who would you have picked? Nelson or who?
Yeah, probably Nelson or Kyle. Yeah,
no,
definitely.
Yeah. Because to be honest, I was a little surprised, because I thought, you weren't automatically going to pick Kyle just because the back and forth you guys had a couple episodes ago.
I mean, Josh. For us, for example, for me, we do that and then we forget. I even forgot I even forgot he was going to pick me. I wasn't going to hold the grudge for him. Obviously, the fans are going, you don't want to pick him. Because you was scared. You was doing the chicken dance, but now you're scared. I'm like, bro, I didn't even think about it. I just wanted to win to get to the final.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to give you 100% credit plus a lot more, because you did so much better against Devin than I thought you were going to do. I thought because Devin's the puzzle master, you know what I mean? And then you were right there with him. It really showed another aspect of your game that we didn't get to see much of this season, is that, you can handle doing puzzles and all of that. And, obviously it's different when it's in the heat of the moment and you got $1 million riding on it, stress starts doing different things, but be able to stick with him like that, dude, all the credit in the world.
Thanks. I mean, I almost took the CT on a puzzle, but he finished 5 seconds before us in one of the games. But I'm not bad with puzzles. And then on that elimination, the problem was the number one, the one with the numbers. It was he had an advantage because he had that in previous seasons. So he knew the game. He knew the combination. Mm-hmm. So, and also it looked like Tori and Casey helped me, but in reality, I was waiting for David to finish, and then I picked and copied what he did there, and this is how I solved mine. Because I couldn't hear the people there. I only heard Casey saying put 5 in the middle in the beginning, and then from there they were just arguing and shit.
Oh yeah.
Everybody was Nelson and Tori were yelling at each other. Yeah, I remember that.
That's funny that the only person you heard was Casey when everybody's mad at Tori.
Yeah, I mean, I heard him. I heard Tori too, but I heard Casey saying the first time, put a 5 in the middle, and then I was like, yeah, shit, down. And then also CT told me at one point put an 8, the first one, keep it the 8.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is I know there's a bunch of arguing right now of whether people should help people when they're down in elimination. It's they've been doing that for
ever.
The history of the challenge, every elimination. It's that's just what the game is at this point. You can't really be upset about that.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of moving from that elimination, let's hypothetically say that you are not eliminated and you are move forward to the final. Seeing just the little bit that we have seen of the final, how do you think that you would have done, considering that it was so puzzle heavy? Obviously we saw that you are capable of handling yourself in a puzzle, but how do you think you would have done, number one? And number two, when you got to the top of that hill, which platform are you standing on?
To be honest, I didn't watch that episode yet.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Oops.
Well, we don't want to spoil.
Yeah, I won't spoil it.
I did watch a little bit of the run in the puzzle with the word map. Pretty sure I would have done great. We did have a map puzzle, probably the second episode when Amy had to do it with Ed. Running wouldn't be a problem, and that puzzle to me it wasn't that hard. The word map puzzle with the
I think all they did a couple of puzzles, and once you watch the episode you'll see, but all the puzzles were actually puzzles that you guys did this season. They were all kind of reenactments from dailies or eliminations that you guys had already seen. So
I always envision myself in the final and winning. I mean, of course, I have CT with me. He would have probably beat me because he has experience, knows more than I know.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be too fast to think that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like we were talking about, because you watch the show and you just throw hypotheticals around just to kind of keep the story going. And I was saying, last night we were talking about, and I go, let's say Emanuel takes Devin's spot or he takes Kyle's spot. I think instead of it being like between Nelson and CT, it's now between Nelson, CT, and Manuel.
Right.
Because even like if CT gets you and Nelson on the puzzles, you guys both have the speed and the endurance to kind of make that up and kind of close the gap.
Yeah.
So I think it would have been like a really interesting 3-person race. And hopefully, we'll get to see that here in the next couple seasons. You know what I mean? Like get you back and get you see you get that opportunity to run the final.
So real quick, I wanted to ask you, and kind of obviously another kind of hypothetical, but so you went this entire season or almost the entire season without seeing an elimination as a rookie, which by the way was absolutely phenomenal gameplay considering that the vets all had an alliance and were actively after all of you rookies, and you still managed to avoid elimination until the very end. Now, I want to know what you think. Let's say you come back next season or the season after. Do you think they're going to be coming for you sooner than they did this season? Now that they saw how good you are?
Yes. They won't let me slide like that anymore. But that was my plan, to just close like that. In my Survivor season in 5 months, I never got voted. I was the only one in the game that never got voted.
Wow.
Look at you.
I did the same thing, but I was actually prepared to go into eliminations and fight. So now that I finished this first strategy of coasting without going seeing elimination, now I'm ready to actually go into elimination. So I wouldn't mind, but of course my top plan is gonna be to avoid the layer. Even though people might be like, oh, you need to prove yourself, or, when you go to elimination, this is when you show yourself. Yes, but I'd rather not show myself and win $1 million.
Oh, absolutely. That's the right strategy to have. I mean, it's like the CT strategy. Like, don't put me in elimination. Just let me go to the final.
Well, I mean, outside of the eliminations, you're 1-1. You won or are on part of a team that won a lot of dailies. So you're definitely somebody to watch out for.
I mean, even in the beginning, me and Casey were so close all the time to me. We were top 3 all the time. We won a challenge. Then we got in that team when we killed it.
And I think that was like a really good strategy that you guys had, and you guys getting paired together, and you won one or two dailies with Casey, but you guys were always right there. And that really helped keep you out of that bottom lineup of like, let's put him into the elimination kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And really helped with your strategy. And it built, like we've been talking about, built that relationship with the whole Big Brother Alliance, which once you guys went to Emerald, it was pretty much a lock at that point.
Oh yeah. That team was stacked.
Yeah, and the chemistry you guys had, like you guys all got along. Yeah, and that's what it really was. Is everybody wanted to try to join Emerald, but it wasn't about like just being on Emerald and getting carried. You guys you worked together well, and that's what it was.
Exactly.
So is there any like cast member that you really didn't get a chance to work with this season that you'd want to work with in future seasons?
Maybe some of the rookies like Berna, like I think I did work with most of the people, because even if it's just one thing, let's say I'm winning now and I talk to you three, and then you guys win next time, you don't put me in, and we kind of form something. So it's kind of working together.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that.
Yeah.
So one thing we ask everyone, and that comes on, is I'm sure with you being on the show and watching now some previous seasons and stuff on YouTube, do you have like a Mt Rushmore of like your top 4 guys all time, top 4 women all time in the challenge?
Yes, it's gotta be CT, Wes, Jordan, but he made a stupid comment about myself, and fuck him for that. I don't. He's not on my list anymore. He commented on
that one out.
Yeah, he commented on a picture saying it was a picture with me and him on a fan account, and then he was like something like, "You cannot buy a knockoff pair of Jordan" or something like that. And I'm like, bro, I didn't even talk to you. You don't even know me. And I really like him because I watched previous seasons and I really like him. But now I'm like, bro, never mind. But it's Wes, CT, who else was Corey, and then I'm gonna give you another one, and Logan. Top 4.
I like it. Logan's got something. I hope he keeps coming back, because I really enjoyed watching him this season too.
So he didn't care. He was just like, he didn't care at all. It was just, he had his strategies. Also, he's coming from Survivor, same as me. He had his strategies, but he's just like, I don't care. Yeah. He didn't really talk too much, especially in the beginning. I loved him.
That's what I really like about him. And it's kind of weird, because every once in a while we get, these certain types of players on the show where it's just kind of a different caliber of person, and we saw it, especially with someone like Turbo, where he's just a different kind of human being, and I feel like, yourself and Logan also kind of sit in that category, right, where you guys are just kind of on a different level, where it's about pride and ego less than it is about like the drama and all that other stuff. And it's about winning and competing. And I love that. I love seeing that on the show.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, because there's been so many people in the house saying, you need to create some drama. You need to fucking argue, do something. And I'm like, why if I don't feel like it?
So like, I've got like an opinion on that. I think the best drama in the house comes from competition, right? And like, you just didn't get called down there, so you weren't able to create that, like, that realization of like, oh shit, he's not someone to fuck with. We don't really want to calm down. And then that gives you that chip to play in the future, like where you can like, kind of bluff on people. Like, you don't want to see me down there, like kind of what you were doing with Kyle.
Yeah.
But that creates that own drama in the house. And I think it works well. And I get it. Like, look, there's certain people like Amanda, like, and I get it. Amanda's a certain way when the cameras are on, and she's a very different person when the cameras aren't on. And she has a role to play, right? And I appreciate it. But
same, yeah.
I agree. I don't see you as that type of player. I see you as the type of player.
That's what makes the show better. You have different characters.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody has a role to play. Like people say all the time that, it's a reality show, so you can't have all competitors, and you have to have some kind of, entertaining characters. And it goes the other way, you can't have everybody being these like drama queens and drama kings. You got to have those people who are there to really compete too. And I think it balances out the show.
Agreed. Yeah, 100% agreed. Exactly. With that being said, when you get a chance, I know you haven't watched the episode, you got to see what Tori did to Amanda.
He was there.
Oh, no.
You were there. Yeah.
The
girls went first. I'm sorry. I thought the guys went first. My bad.
No.
Shit. That shit was wild.
I did watch the eliminations because I mean it's 3 a.m. when he plays in the States. I stayed up, watched the eliminations, and then I just went to sleep. I was like, "Fuck you! I'm not gonna watch you running that final." No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna watch it.
Well, yeah. But that was like just awe-inspiring seeing her pick up Amanda like that and just carry her across the ring like she was a satchel or like a backpack.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was crazy. Nuts. That was crazy. It was so awesome. I loved it.
So after picking Casey at the beginning of the season and working with her throughout almost the whole season, how did it feel when she said your name?
It didn't feel any wrong because I knew she had to stick with the Vets Alliance, and her not saying my name wouldn't change anything. So I was like, she was struggling not to say it. And I was like, just say it. I knew I was going to go down. I knew 100% I was going to go down. Even though CT winked at me before that saying that we're going to put Kyle in. And I was like,
ooh.
So like my thought is like, even if like the house wouldn't have voted for you, whoever would have went down there would have probably ended up calling you down. Like, I think no matter what, you're right. You would have ended up down.
No, I think if Nelson would have gone down, it would have picked CT too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That would have been so interesting.
So yeah, because we talk about this. We say like, if you look at CT's stats in eliminations, he's like 50%. He's won 6, he's lost 5, right? But in finals in the last 10 years, like he's unbeatable. You know what I mean? Like
you're most likely going to lose to him in a final.
That's why I always said, so throughout the season, even in my interviews, I said that if I ever go down, I'm gonna call CT. I'm gonna call down CT. I got down there facing the situation, but I was so close to the final, and I was like, man, I don't want to make a mistake. So that's why I called Devin.
You know what? I think it was a smart move, especially not knowing what the elimination was. It was the smartest move to pick Devin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like I think Amanda's smartest move would have been to pick Nani instead of Tori. You know, you made the right decision with your brain where she was thinking with her heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think you made the right move. It just, luck didn't fall on your side with the puzzle. You know what I mean?
I was so close. I was like a piece away. He was quick to say check, and
you called for a check first, and it was just that one piece that was just not lined up with the colors. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because they showed that part where right when he gets to you pass, you walk over and take a look at it, and I saw you kind of go, oh, and you kind of like figured it out right there.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, man, I think your performance this season really kind of verifies like that stamp. Like, you need to come back. We need to see you again next season or in the future season, and see you kind of compete.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely, man. If it was up to us, we'd definitely cast you right away.
Right.
But
appreciate that.
If it's like a guy-girl pairing next season again, are you going to pick Casey or would you pick Tori?
Yep. Casey.
Casey, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, Casey, 100%.
You guys do work really well together. I mean, and especially like if you watch it, like Casey had like, including like last season, like just really strong partners, yourself and Leroy, and you guys have a really good energy together, and it's no surprise that you guys do as well as you do.
I really like her. It's like we're pushing each other. It's like it's crazy.
She's a beast. What is this? 3 seasons, 3 finals for her? Correct?
3 seasons, 3 finals.
I mean, she's a freaking beast. So I can't blame you. I'd probably pick Casey.
In the first weeks, she was telling me, "Oh man, we gotta win this together. And if I don't win, I'm sure you're gonna win. If you're not gonna win, I'm sure I'm gonna win." I'm like, that's my partner.
Yeah, you gotta love having that where they're like supporting you, and because you see a lot of these partnerships where it's not like that, where they're just at each other all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really awesome to see.
I'm just excited to see him come back in the future. Just to state what you guys said earlier, you're exciting to watch. I love watching you compete the way you do it in the dailies. Dude, come on.
Thank you.
We're here for you.
I'm gonna be even way different, way crazier. Because now I see how it's edited, and I understood how is filming there and how is the challenge, what I can do. And now I'm coming with a backpack, a full backpack now. I'm not just, okay, let's see what's this. Now I know everything.
Yeah, now you know what it's all about.
Yeah, and once you get that experience, and kind of to go back to what we were saying earlier about as far as your partnership with Casey and her partnership with Leroy, it's like almost like you fit into Leroy's shoes this year, because I don't know if you know this, whenever he was on, he was like the barber, and he'd go around and he'd cut everybody's hair. And like I saw that you kind of took on that role this season. Like I saw you edged up Josh and all that. Like, yeah, dude.
I got hair there. Yeah, I did them. Devin was making fun of our haircuts all the time.
That does not surprise me.
I think that's Devin's MO right there. Like he just likes to make fun of people regardless. But, but I think that's like another pivotal role is like getting liked by the rest of the cast, and you like kind of being like the next like barber and like being able to help people out. Like it just gives you an extra added edge. Yeah.
You know, every little thing you do, it's a strategy. Even if you're I'm talking nice to you, my intention is not to make a strategy, but being in that game, it is a strategy. It's gonna help me later. And that's what I learned in my Survivor, and I did apply here, and it worked. And I like to see people happy. I'm not a drama guy. I'm not. So it comes naturally.
Well, yeah, we got that, especially when you were walking around the house, like in half of Tori's clothes and the high heels and shit. Yeah, like we got you like to get a laugh out of people.
Just the fact you made it down those stairs in those heels, I was thoroughly impressed.
I mean, let's talk about the way you left when you lost the last elimination. I mean, dude, you held your head high and you bowed out gracefully. Dude, that's respect right there.
Thanks, man. Well, yeah, I wasn't gonna cry. I was like, fuck it, man. I'm not gonna win $1 million, but I'm on American TV. I don't want to be rude, but I banged the best girl on the challenge, and I'm talking to you. It's more than just the bang. It's like, you know, I mean, I'm like, something is good.
Yeah, you're becoming a household name here on American television, which, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I know Romania has its own entertainment industry, but I know America is still the goal worldwide, right? It is. You know, and now you've already got an inroad into it with, you know, being on the challenge. You know, you've established all these different relationships with these different people. And like I said earlier, I think it's only a matter of time, and you're on the right path. I mean, you've got big fans in us three, and a lot of people in the group are big fans of you and like what you do. And you bring a certain thing to the show that it's missing, and we appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Thanks, man. Thank you. Really appreciate that.
So one thing that I do like to ask everybody, and I especially want to ask you this, especially after learning that, you know, you love being on TV, you love being in front of the camera, and, you know, kind of giving yourself to viewers and fans and stuff. When all of that is said and done, when reality TV is said and done, when music videos and dancing and all of that is done, what do you want your overall message to be to people? Like, what do you want people to remember about you and who you are?
I don't want them to remember about me. I want them to, if they think about me, I want them to think that nothing is impossible. Like, they can do whatever they want. And get the fuck off that couch and do it. I want them to remember that they can do whatever they want, even if I'm not Cristiano Ronaldo, but if I put my energy into becoming that, and I do, that guy is training 25 hours a day, right? So I have to do that to do it. So it's not impossible if I train like that. So that's what I want people to understand, that you can do it. It's possible. I've been actually sharing this message since I've been on TV here, since I started TV, reality TV. So it kind of worked. And I did prove that all the time, that I'm coming from a poor village. I used to eat ketchup on bread, and now I'm on American TV. So I almost won my Survivor. I'm gonna win the All-Star Survivor for sure now. When I'm
Oh yeah.
You got our vote already.
So nothing is impossible. That's I want people to remember about me.
I love it. I love it.
It's a great message.
A beautiful message. Yeah, it's a great message. And look, you know what? Honestly, kind of like after having this conversation, like I understand like why you and Tori click so well. Like you guys have such a similar energy and like the positivity behind it. Like it makes a lot of sense. And
in fact, wasn't that almost the exact same thing that Tori, the exact same answer? Because we actually just interviewed Tori a week ago. Or a week and a half ago, something like that. And that was almost her exact same answer too, is that she, you know, wanted people to know that you can do it. And, you know, as long as you give it your best and you do your best and you try, that, you know, you can do whatever you put your mind to kind of thing.
You can achieve a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I really love, you know, just kind of bouncing off what he was saying. I love your guys' energy together. You guys are so goofy and you fit together. And I think it's great. And I hope it works out, whatever that means for you guys, you know, whether it's a long-term relationship, whether it's a long-term friendship or whatever it is, I hope it really works out for you guys. And I really wish you guys the best.
Thank you. Yeah, we're trying to, you know, not put a label on what we're doing, as I did with my past relationship or she did with past relationship. So right now we can't get married. We can't do anything. We're so far apart. Probably if I'm moving there, it's going to be easier. Probably something is going to happen. But for now, we're good. We're just supporting each other. We're talking. And it's just love.
You guys are in your 20s, you're living life, you're loving life, and that's what it is. And you don't need a label, you don't need anybody else's judgment. At the end of the day,
exactly.
If it works for you guys, like that's all that matters. And like that's like kind of like our thing is like we don't give a shit about what anybody says. Like it works for us and we understand what we have, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. If y'all know what you guys have, then it's already something special.
That's why we did things together. We went holidays, but we don't post. We don't want to have that. Like you guys seen what happened with her last relationship. She's still getting hated still for that.
It's bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, we firmly stand behind Tori on that situation. We think it's completely ridiculous that it even happened. Like she should have never had to take time out of her day to record that whole live about it. Like it's nobody's business. You know what I mean? Like you guys are on TV. Your personal lives aren't everybody's business, but what's on TV is business.
Yeah.
And that's how I view it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you personally know how challenged fans can get. They're a little.
You know what? Sometimes I feel like I want to go through my phone and like strangle them. They're like threatening my family. They're like, for what? For
ridiculous.
You see me on TV and you think I should have done different, and you threaten me like crazy.
Like
as they sit on their couch. Just shut up.
Like we see both sides of it. We see like, you know, the fans that are like genuine fans that, you know, understand that you guys are just normal people on TV and enjoy what you bring to their lives. And then we see, you know, the negative aspect of it. But like, I want you to know, like, there is a lot more of those people that genuinely just enjoy you guys for what you bring to our lives as far as being on TV.
Right. Yeah.
And, you know, unfortunately, those ones that are really off the deep end tend to be the loudest and get the most attention. But there's a lot more that love you guys.
And this is where we also have to come with the understanding that it is normal. It is how it's supposed to be, basically. Right. It's the more viewers you have, the more positive viewers you have and the more negative ones. So they're growing. So, yeah.
There's a famous, I get an opportunity to do this. I'm a dad now. So like I get to quote like old like quotations, like, but there's a Churchill quote that says, if you have people that don't like you, good. That means you stood up for something at one point in your life. You know what I mean? And so, you know, everybody's supposed to have detractors. That just means you're doing you the best way you can do you. And, you know, like I said, you got fans. We appreciate you. And, you know, we, like I said, we really hope to see you back on, you know, in future seasons.
Just last thing really quick. We always like to give our guests an opportunity to kind of let the fans know if there's anything else that you're working on that you want the fandom to kind of know about. Obviously, we know that you were in the video with Emmy, and that just recently released. So we're going to link all that down below in the description. But if there's anything else that you're working on that you want to let the fan base know about,
Wait, my dog is snoring so loud. So,
oh my gosh, she's so cute.
at this moment, I'm trying to have a few dance videos. I'm trying to shoot some dance videos. Just that. Training a lot. I recently bought a violin to learn a new instrument. I got myself a little dog, a Doberman. So I'm kind of working on my responsibilities because, you know, I'm a youngster. So this dog is going to keep me, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Just my dancing. Guys, follow my Instagram, all that, Emanuel.Neagu, and I'll see you there with the dancing.
Heck that's yeah, awesome. We love it. And you freaking rock it. Every single video I've seen on your page has been phenomenal. So we'll definitely make sure that we link all of that down below. And then again, just thank you so much, Emanuel. We really appreciate your time. We appreciate you being, you know, open with us and being willing to talk to us about, you know, your life and your experiences and all that kind of stuff. So again, thank you so much.
Call me. Yeah. I want to do it again. It was so nice, guys, talking to you.
Well,
we would love to have you back, and you know, maybe we can get, you know, another guest on with us. Maybe we'll talk to Tori, see if we can get you guys both on,
right?
Because you guys are hilarious together. When you guys start going back and forth, it is funny. It's so funny. But yeah, no, everybody like that's listening, if you have not followed Emanuel online, go do it. Yeah. He's a great follow, great content. It's funny. He does lives as well where he interacts with the fans. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better guy. And, you know, I'm so thankful we've all had this opportunity to sit down with you, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you very much for answering your DMs on Instagram, especially the positive ones.
Oh yeah, I do answer the negative ones sometimes, but I answer them. I answer positivity, and I'm like, man.
So, Emanuel, once again, thank you so much for coming on. You know,
it was a pleasure.
Get ready for season 38. I hope you're getting a call, man. They better be calling you.
Maybe it's gonna be you old vets. I gotta study them too. I gotta study some other vets.
Right.
Oh yeah. So real quick, have you heard of Johnny Bananas?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say he's one of my favorites too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We'll send you like in some of those seasons, like you're gonna watch him. Like I think you guys, like if you got on a season together, I think you guys would work really well together, and you guys would be fucking hilarious.
It would be awesome. I would love that.
I love him. I love him.
All right. Well, Emanuel, thank you once again. We really do appreciate it. And hopefully we get to talk to you again here soon.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, guys.
Of course.
Right,
bye.
Bye, guys.
Guys, what an amazing interview. Look, like Emanuel, dude, I don't know about YouTube, but I loved it, man. I thought his answers were genuine. He was straightforward with us. And to see that he's a fan on top of all of that and really enjoys it, it made me like him even more.
Right. Him with the power of positivity. You got to love a guy like that. The way he even left the challenge all happy. And he's like, I love you.
Yeah. He even screamed out, you know, I love you to Tori. He's just like, shut up. But no, I honestly, like at the beginning of the season, I'll be 100% honest here. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about Emanuel. You know, he's super quiet. He wasn't on camera very often, which, you know, now after talking to him, we realize why, because he has learned to avoid the cameras, you know, and kind of fly under the radar, which at this point, I respect it. I just didn't understand it at the beginning because we're so used to seeing these rookies, you know, come into this game with just, you know, all this like fire and wanting to be in front of the camera and wanting to be noticed and make storylines and stuff. And so it was odd to see a rookie like him come in and just kind of sit in the background. But as the season gone on, man, it was hard not to fall in love with Emanuel. And by the end of it, I'm definitely a fan of his, even more so after getting to talk to him. He's so much fun. I love him.
Yeah, I 100% agree and sign off on that. I co-sign that all day. And, I think, like I said in the interview, like him being so open and willing to just joke around even when he was on the show, as far as like dressing up in Tori's clothes, like it makes him rememberable, and it makes him even more like likable, in my opinion, that he's so, he doesn't have such a serious view on himself where he can't joke around. But on top of that, like, dude's a competitor. Like we were talking about, like, it wasn't like Casey carried them in a team, and it's not like Emerald carried him. Like, he competed and he was a main player for each of those situations, and he held his own in those eliminations. And honestly, he goes against anyone but Devin or CT that was in the house this year, and those in that puzzle, he beats them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
He calls Nelson or he calls Kyle down. He beats him in that puzzle, and he's in the final.
Had he known what the elimination was going to be, absolutely he's picking somebody else.
Well, and I think, and we kind of talked about this on the recap, is that kind of goes, with inexperience, because as long-term fans, we all kind of assumed it would be a puzzle because the men had just finished a physical elimination, like hours before, a couple hours before they were getting ready to do this second one. So, but I think that that's definitely one of those things that, is kind of a lesson learned. And I think that next time, should he be put in a situation similar, he'll probably think about it a little bit heavier than he thought about this one. It was interesting to learn, though, that because, I don't remember ever seeing this on the show in his confessionals, but he stated that in his interview, he had made it in many of his interviews, he had made it clear that if he ever went into elimination, he wanted to call out CT. And I never saw this on the show in any of his confessionals. So I'm assuming that production just didn't make that part of his story or part of his edit, which is fine. But it was really interesting to hear that, because we have been talking all season in our recaps about how none of these men, none of the males on the show this season, had the balls to call CT out or even think about calling CT out. Yeah. So to hear that one of the rookies, like over all these vets and stuff, one of the rookies was like, no, I'm going to call him out if I get a chance. And granted, he didn't. And I get why he didn't at the very end there. Right. But it was really interesting to learn that he was considering doing that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes him like politically puts him up there with Priscilla for me for calling out Ashley, kind of same thing. Yeah. I wish he would have taken the opportunity. I understand he didn't want to that late in the game, because then you're really, it's really a 50-50. You're taking your life in your own hands. CT would have smoked. Right. Yeah, especially in that one.
He would, because CT's done the color puzzle. He's done the number puzzle. He's done the,
let's
done all
say
this.
Emanuel gets the house vote for that elimination and not Logan, and he was able to somehow call CT. He could have probably beat, maybe not, maybe not, might have, but he could have.
He wouldn't have been able to call CT in that, since they were the
agency.
Hypothetically, is all.
But yeah. No, I get you. Yeah.
But
that would have been.
He could have potentially beat CT in something like that. Like CT's a big boy, and granted he is quick and agile. I think that Emanuel is probably quicker and more agile. And, agreed. The chances of CT making a mistake similar to Logan, where his foot just gets caught trying to hop over that rocket is, to me, I don't know, it just seems like it would be more likely to happen to someone of CT's, height and weight, stature, size, agreed. All of that, than it would be to someone like Emanuel, who's a little shorter, kind of made for stuff like that.
Agreed.
And his dancing background, like he's got so much, and now we know he's got 12 years of dancing experience, where you've trained your body to move that way in those weird, awkward ways, and so I think he could have had a good chance against CT in that one. But looking at all the other eliminations that they did this season, I don't know that, when would CT have been able to be taken out by really?
No. I was just saying in a hypothetical, it could have never really happened. But if that were to happen, that elimination, I would favor Emanuel over CT in that exact elimination. You know what I mean? Now, I know he said that he was in there training to go against the biggest guy in Hall Brawl, which means Fessy, but stick with those endurances.
6'6".
Yeah,
I love your goals though. I love your goals. Set them high.
Yeah.
Shoot it for the stars. Yeah, man. That way, as long as you shoot for the stars, you're still landing by the moon. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
But I really appreciate him taking the time. I know it's late over there because he's like 9-10 hours ahead of us, and it's midday here. So I really appreciate him taking the time to sit down with us and just have these conversations.
Right? It's like midnight.
Well, damn, an extra special thank you then, Emanuel. We really appreciate that. I didn't realize it was that late. I knew it was quite a bit later, but I didn't realize it was that late. So.
Yeah, the puppy was snoring on his lap like, motherfucker, it's time to go to bed.
Our puppy sleeps all
Turn those lights off.
Yeah, bro, come on. But yeah, no, extra special shout out to him for that. And you guys can probably hear our cat going haywire in the background. So that's a little special little touch that you're not going to get on other podcasts. You'll only get it right here on the Challenge Fandom podcast.
Ivan the Terrible.
Yeah, every podcast.
If you guys aren't following Emanuel, please go on to IG, go follow him. You will not regret it. He's got great content. His stories are funny. His lives are funny. It's a good time. So make sure you go follow Emanuel. And, again, thank you to Emanuel for, giving us some time today.
Guys, with that all being said, for myself, Ricky Hayes, my beautiful wife, Corrina Hayes, and the one, the only, the mysterious Josh Chambers, we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And guys, by the time this comes out, if you haven't had a chance, go back and listen to our recap with Marlon on the first part of the final, as well as our interview with Paulie that dropped last Sunday and Tori the Sunday before that. You guys don't want to miss those interviews. They're fire interviews. And plus a guest we have coming up soon. You're going to want to subscribe because you're not going to want to miss it. So from everybody here at the Challenge Fandom Podcast, we thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next time. Adios.
See ya.
Bye.